Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has categorically stated that in the absence of any evidence, there is no question of any action on Adani Green Energy Limited or the power purchase contracts with the Solar Energy Corporation of India, stating that the credibility of the state government is at stake, underlining credibility of the state government is at stake, and that there is no proof yet in the allegations made. He pointed out that any action on the contract would invite stiff penalties in the absence of any evidence. He also emphasized that he doesn't indulge in vendetta politics, and that though he could easily file cases in this controversy against former Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy, he will not do so and allow vendetta politics to affect the state's interests. That's the difference, he said, between him and his predecessor. The statement gains significance in the backdrop of allegations in the United States against Adani Green, which the group has strongly refuted and has pointed out to incorrect reporting in several sections of the media. Well, two questions this evening on our special focus. Is it time first for Andhra to move over vendetta politics? And more importantly, despite the political noise months after the controversy, the fact is there is still no evidence to back the allegations. Joining me this evening, Jyotsna Tirunagari of the Telugu Desam Party, Silpa Ravi Reddy of the YSR Congress, and political analyst Amitabh Tiwari. Thanks to all three of you for joining the show this evening. My first question before I get to the politician is to the observer in the panel, Amitabh Tiwari. The fact is, while there has been political noise and several allegations made, this is a reiteration that there is really no hard proof yet.
Yeah, essentially, with respect to the Adani case, what has happened is that, and that has been the central government position also, if you see in the Lok Sabha, that the charges have not been framed. There is no case here domestically in the country, and because of that reason, it would not be wise to go ahead and cancel any contract. So that's what Chandrababu Naidu has said, that in the event, if there is more proof and something comes up substantially, then he would take a call on it, because there are substantial costs involved with respect to the cancellation. That is number one. There could be significant disruptions in the power supply in the state, and also it could have an impact on the foreign direct investments coming into the state. So I think because of all these three reasons, the CM has made this statement, and I think it's a fair statement to make this at this point of time.
Right. It's a fair statement to make at this point of time. Jyotsna Tirunagari, it's important to underline to keep politics out of decisions of this nature. And that's perhaps what Chandrababu Naidu is underlining.
Good evening. Yes, definitely. When it comes to Naiduji and when it comes to Telugu Desam Party and especially the NDA government in the state of Andhra Pradesh, we are very clear. We have three-pointer agenda for the government. One is development. The other one is welfare. The third and very important point is proper governance and a clean and neat governance. No vendetta politics allowed. Because I'll tell you one thing, for the past 5 years when Jagan Mohan Reddy garu was in rule, what we have seen is suppression. What we have seen is absolute non-accountability on his part. What we have seen is demolition, destruction. This is what was the politics that was involved in the past 5 years. Now, for the past 6 months that we are in government, we are talking about development. We are talking about welfare schemes reaching to the absolute, person, and also we are talking about clean governance and also a state which is free of revenge and vendetta politics. For the past 5 years, we have seen cases lodged when their government was in rule. We have seen cases against our leaders. We have seen cases against, normal public. Even if they, put a post criticizing the government, they were in fact lifted. Fridays were probably the most, I think I would say Jagan Reddy garu was, he usually liked the Fridays during his rule, because on Friday, every single Friday, he would have somebody or the else arrested, involved all sorts of things on them. All this we have seen for the past 5 years. But now, as Naiduji very clearly quoted, our Honorable Chief Minister is very clear on this. For us, state comes first. For us, the people of Andhra Pradesh come first. For us, the development and welfare of the people of Andhra Pradesh comes first. No vendetta politics. And especially in the Adani case also, we said due diligence will be done. All the particular, transactions, all the particular agreements will be clearly studied on. If there is anything involved, any sort of a malpractice or anything, we wouldn't even, go back and probably, scrapping those deals also. But the point is, we are worried about the state. We are worried about the welfare of the people of the state of Andhra Pradesh. So for us, vendetta politics is not our cup of tea. It was the cup of tea for Jagan Mohan Reddy. He actually lived on it for the past 5 years.
Shilpa Ravi Reddy, you want to respond to Jyotsna Tirunagiri?
Yeah, hi, good evening, everyone. I only hope that whatever Professor Jyotsna Tirunagari Garu spoke was true, because in reality, there's a stark difference between rhetoric statements and action on ground. From the day, even before, I would say even before the elections, they came into power citing Red Book democracy. That means, anyone who has gone against their view, they would be named and they would be targeted. That was what specifically Mr. Nara Lokesh Garu went to every town and had told people that, I will target this, and people from YSRCP. And they have been doing that. They have been doing it from day one. They have been consistently filing cases, not just against ex-MLAs, ex-MPs, ex-ministers. They have even gone to the extent of filing cases on their family members. They're not even letting go of women in these cases. They have been filing SC/ST atrocity cases against women. They have been filing attempt to murder cases against women. And also, in fact, recently, our ex-minister Peri Nani Garu, his wife was called to the police station, and they have been literally, this has never been the scenario in Andhra Pradesh before. Never have women been brought into politics and pushed so bad. But this is an all-time low that PDP is resorting to. Not just that, there have been cases on IPS officers, there have been cases on IAS officers. There are no postings for a lot of officers who have worked during YSRCP regime. And they have been falsely accused that, they have been favoring YSRCP. And not just that, and the small players, social media people, just now Mrs. Professor Tirunagari Garu was talking about, not filing cases against the social media, which is absolutely false. I have a list of cases filed against social media people. Each one have 20 cases, 15 cases, 15 cases, 13 cases and all filed against them, not in just one police station, police stations across Andhra Pradesh. And I know people personally who have been on the road going to one police station to the other for the last 50 days.
Jyotsna Tirunagari, respond to that very quickly before I go to Amitabh Tiwari.
No. The point is, in our government, I forgot to tell you one more thing. In our government, there is zero tolerance towards any sort of assault, any sort of harassment on women. Zero tolerance. This I'm telling you. I'll tell you why. Because the social media cases that they're talking about, that's
the reason why they're filing cases against women.
One second. Let me complete. I'll quote with names. Varra Ravinder Reddy. I'll quote with names. The Borgada Anil. I'll quote with names. Your ex-MP, Mr. Nandigama Suresh. All these people have been involved in crimes against women. I'm sorry to quote this. There are obscene remarks made by them on women.
And what have you done against people who have spoken against Jagan Mohan Reddy and his family?
She is involved.
All right, this political exchange.
She is involved in a crime. I'm sorry, I'll have to say this. She is involved in a crime.
That is the problem.
Can we go back to the focus of this conversation, please? Professor Jyotsna Tirunagari, as well as Shilpa Ravi Reddy. The real question.
Yes.
I just want to say
let's move on. Let's bring the focus back to the core of the statement. So go ahead. Quickly finish your point.
Yeah. Even before anything major, let's say a case has been registered or any substantial evidence has been produced, they go all out on media and attack the opposition. Let's say, for example, Jagan Mohan Reddy Garu's name was bought.
Okay, let's move on. Shilpa Ravi Reddy, I want to bring focus on the conversation that I started with. That's right. That's the point that I'm going to take across to Amitabh Tiwari.
You have to get involved
on this case. On this case and the allegations made, Amitabh Tiwari.
It would have been different.
Yeah, go ahead.
if we would have ever
All right, you are
fought a
saying it would have been
Vendetta
different
politics
had this been.
like
That's the
what
statement that's been made.
Jagan Reddy
Amitabh
has
Tiwari,
done.
what's the bigger
What
lesson
Jagan Reddy
to
has
take
done in
away?
the past 5 years
As far as
was
this case
pure
is concerned, it's
vendetta
about a
and
month since
politics.
the allegations have been made, more than a month since the
Our
allegations have been.
intentions are clear.
What's the lesson?
Our
Their intentions were clear even during the Laddu case.
Amitabh, unmute yourself, please.
So if you see Chandrababu Naidu is taking lessons from the mistakes of Jagan Mohan Reddy. Before the elections, Jagan Mohan Reddy was cruising along. But since the day N. Chandrababu Naidu was arrested, it created sympathy for him, and it turned out to be one of the biggest blunders of the YSRCP government. So Chandrababu Naidu is cognitive of this fact that any vendetta politics and targeting of Jagan Reddy or his party men or leaders could fire back, and that's why I think he has made this statement. However, we have to also see that there is going to be a likely power transition from N. Chandrababu Naidu to his next generation in either this term or at the juncture of the next election. So that's also very crucial for N. Chandrababu Naidu, because he has to also establish his son as the successor to his politics, and that also perhaps may have tempted him to make this statement on both the Adani as well as the political vendetta issue.
Okay, be that as it may, Jyotsna Tirunagari, my final question to you in the last 30 seconds. The fact is that despite all the political noise that was made around this controversy, the fact categorically is that there is absolutely no evidence or proof at the moment in this matter, and hence it's perhaps in the state's interest to remain where it is.
See, as I clearly mentioned, there is a due diligence that is running. If there is anything that is, if there is anything that's wrong, definitely we'll take action on it. But if there is nothing, then purely then we will go by what the law says. And here, let me put a very clear point here. The people of Andhra Pradesh deserve a government which is focused on progress, not political playback. And I'm very clear, I'm very shrewd when I say this. And our Naiduji's vision is clear. Development is our vision, not vendetta. Absolutely not. Unlike them. I think the last
yeah. If you can just go ahead and tell what have you done in the last 6 months, that would even be better.
We have got, sir, I think Shilpa Garu has forgot the amount of investments that we have got in the last 6 months. He actually forgot about
we'll have to leave this conversation for the moment on this. Thanks very much, Jyotsna Tirunagari, Shilpa Ravi Reddy, as well as Amitabh Tiwari for joining us here on this important conversation.